Ladies and gentlemen, Violent Games here. Today I'm going to be talking about Summer Downtime. This is going to be a part of my Let's Talk series. This is basically a series where I talk about any particular topic in gaming or even a game itself, and I do so informally, just off the top of my head, just going over the topic thoroughly. And today I wanted to talk about summer downtime in video games. This happens every summer. Basically what it is publishers don't release any new games during the summer. And I don't know why this happens. I think especially if you're an indie developer, this would be an optimal time to release your new hit, because it would have a lot of attention on it, because there's nothing else, really out there in the gaming marketplace that's new, fresh, and exciting. So I don't really understand why publishers choose to do this. I'm sure there's like a more tangible, studyable reason as to why, but I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm from your standpoint right now. I have no fucking clue. So summer downtime actually heavily impacts YouTube. YouTube, if you didn't know, primarily consists of video game related content. And when no new games are coming in, a lot less eyeballs are being put on YouTube for people to kind of investigate this game. YouTube has been a primary source for gaming as a culture, to retrieve information about games, to find reviews, to look up Let's Plays, to see if my favorite player likes this game. There's just so much ways that YouTube is impacted by video games. So when publishers aren't putting out their new titles, YouTube ad revenue takes a huge, dip. So that's kind of the problem with the summer downtime in terms of YouTube. So a lot of content creators, some even produce less content as a result. More people end up, receiving less views, making less money. So that's kind of how it in fact affects the culture. And it affects you guys, is that you don't really get to see anything really too new from your YouTubers. Which, again, I don't know. I enjoy YouTubers because of their personalities. A lot of people don't do that. They watch YouTubers because of the content that they put out. And that's the sad fact, but I don't know. People are different. I enjoy the people and the culture of YouTube gaming, but I guess that's not the majority. The majority come here to, pick up information, which is a good thing. I mean, the internet's a great place to find information, and also not the greatest place to find information at the same time. There's nuance there, and if you're an intelligent, honest person, you'll be able to find out which. So how it affects consumers. A lot of nerds, honestly, like to complain during this time in gaming, saying that there's nothing out, that there's no games to be played, that gaming sucks right now. Man, this is a terrible drought. Well, one, you're probably an Xbox One player, for one, because we've had games to play for the past several months. And two, I don't get this complaint because I feel like people refuse for some reason. There's this group of gamers who refuse to look in the backlog and play video games. They refuse to go to a game that is a couple years old, for example. Right now, guys, on the Xbox One and the PlayStation, there are so many games that are just AAA that are on sale right now because they've got a few years on them. And this is a piece of advice for you. If you're, suffering from the summer downtime, if you want to keep yourself entertained, just look back on the games from the past couple of years that have been critically acclaimed and play these games. For example, I'm playing Wolfenstein, the New Order and the Old Blood for the first time. Those games are incredible, and I never knew that I would enjoy those games so much, and I bought them for $11 on PSN. Get out of here. That is an amazing bargain for the amount of content that you receive. It really does pay off to not play every game. And to be honest, if you are an honest gamer who's played all these games and is like, man, there's nothing to play right now, you're playing video games irresponsibly. Unless you're some kind of live streamer for a living, you should not be consuming that many games. That's unhealthy. The average person who works a job does not have the time to do that and maintain a healthy lifestyle and social life. It's just not going to happen. So in conclusion to that sentiment, guys, you need to have a second hobby if video games are your only primary hobby. I used to do it when I was younger. That's all I would do. That was my primary focus. That was my primary hobby. It's not healthy. It's not good for your health. You need to be doing something else, whether it's focusing on just doing exercise on the side, whether it's, doing some kind of Dungeons and Dragons thing with your friends. Like literally anything else that you can do as a side hobby is going to help you enjoy video games more. I've discussed this a bit more in the past, but that's just my generalized opinion when it comes to that. So in conclusion to this topic as a whole, and this will cap off the video, I don't think summer downtime is a big deal in all honesty for gamers. Like I said, I think there are so many titles out right now for your PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and even on the Switch if you're into indie games. And it's just like, how can you be bored with video gaming right now? I just don't understand. There's this backlog is insane. You cannot tell me you've played all these games if you're like an average consumer. If you're working a job that isn't YouTube, you cannot tell me that you've played all these games. Like since the console generation, you know, has been lost. There's just too many gems out there right now for me to even like get bored with video games. So summer downtime, in my opinion, is not a big deal. It's only really a big deal when a console just has no exclusives and no games on it because third party. That kind of happened early on in the Xbox life cycle and the PlayStation 4 life cycle. Neither of them had any exclusives worth a crap. So that was a problem. But all in all, I think right now, summer downtime in 2018, not a big deal. There's just way too many titles. Yeah, that's it. For the consumer anyways. But if you're a streamer, it's a big deal because you have to, you know, manage your money differently. You have to think about your content differently. You might have to be more willing to, you know, get that sponsorship or sponsored video to try to make some additional ad revenue. You have to put pressure on your audience to donate to a Patreon. That's when summer downtime like really means something to you as a person. As a consumer, we don't have to worry about it, right? We're not making money off YouTube. That's not our lifeblood. But to these streamers and YouTubers, oh my gosh, man. I can't imagine having that be my lifeblood and then to have to like constantly shift how I manage my money because of things like the summer downtime. It's just the way the industry works. It's a consequence of working in an industry like this where it's competitive and it's independent. But we get some great content out of it, guys. I really am enjoying video games and YouTube culture as a whole right now. I know that YouTube is definitely on the decline and Twitch is on the up, but we'll see where all of that leads in the end. I'm going to stick with this as a hobby regardless of where the eyeballs go. If it somehow goes to Amazon's new platform, I'll switch over to there as well. But anyways, guys, this is Violent Games signing off. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed you stopping by. I always like making these conversation videos. They're much more natural for me. I don't really get stressed out about making that content. It's just free form, and I like that, and I hope you do. If you like these types of informal conversation videos, please do support them. Let me know in the comments section. If you want to engage with me in something, just type a little something, ask me a question, whatever. I do read all comments. Don't think you're being ignored at any given time. I just don't always have the time to respond to them because I have a real life. I don't know if you saw my subscriber count. I'm not PewDiePie, okay? So keep that in mind when you interact with me as a content creator. This is Violent Games signing off. Hope you enjoyed.